ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಮಾನ್ಯ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು, ನಮ್ಮ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರುವ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಜಾವಡೇಕರ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಚಿಕ್ಕಬಳ್ಳಾಪುರದ ಬಂಧು ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ಅವರು. I will leave my Kannada here, please. Today is World Forest Day. I think one of the most important things that need to happen in the world is we change what is the perception of forest that we have in our minds. If something is in disorder, if something is chaotic, we say it is a jungle. If somebody is uncivilized, we say he is a jungly. We need to change this. Because our gardens may look wonderful, but people who maintain that know how much maintenance goes into it on a daily basis. For 3 months, if you don't maintain it, your garden will be ruined. But for 1,000,000 years, the forests have been. So you must decide which is more orderly, which is better managed. A forest means it's a super well-managed system, beyond our understanding of how it is managed. So our idea of civilization itself has to change. Right now, our idea of civilization is in conflict with every other life on this planet. Only now we are beginning to acknowledge that, as they were pointing out how in our culture, in our tradition, it's always been the unity of life. The word yoga itself means unity, the oneness of existence, not as a philosophy, not as an ideology, not as some kind of a value that we hold, not environmental awareness. Just by observing life, how it functions, anybody who pays little attention to how life is happening cannot ignore any life, whether it's an ant or an insect or even a microbial thing. Without it, we cannot exist. Today, modern science is piecing this together. We have always embraced this as one life because we know our survival is not independent of the rest of the life on this planet. There are many issues that have been said and addressed in these last few minutes. Some of them are very super significant because in the last 74 years of independent India, we have never addressed these issues as it is being addressed in the last 3 to 4 years' time. This is very significant. One important thing is we understand that preserving, protecting and if possible enhancing the forest cover is a very important thing to do, there's no question about it. But can we really do it? Because 84% of India's land is under farming. So how are you going to make forests out of it? How are you going to remove the people and bring back other life? Is it going to be possible? We have been talking about man-animal conflict. Well, this conflict is on various different levels. We only count the dead bodies, but that is not the only conflict. Conflict is happening at various levels, which may not be very well documented or recorded, but conflict is happening on a daily basis. This is simply because if we protect the habitat, if our forest departments in every state does their work well, certainly the animal population will rise. When they rise, they need more area, they need more habitat. But we have towns, villages and agricultural farms all over the place. The only way they can accommodate their population is they have to enter these lands. They have to enter any number of situations in Karnataka where elephants are running through Mysore city. Such things have happened simply because their population is well protected, fortunately, by our departments in the last probably a decade or two. The tiger population has gone up, the elephant population has gone up. See, we are noticing only the big animals, but we must understand there's a whole host of other things in terms of insects, worms and variety of other creatures which are very vital for our survival on this planet. The big animals are visible, the big animals are appreciated, But if a tiger comes maybe through this glass, the safety of this glass windows you would like to see because it's a rare thing. But if an insect comes and sits on you, you don't want that to happen. We need to understand this, that for us to survive here, to put it very simply, it's like this. If all the microbial, all the insect life disappears today, all the insect life is gone today, in about 2.5 to 4 years' time, all life on this planet will go, including human beings. If all the world life goes away, within 18 to 36 months, all life on this planet, including you and me, will be gone. If all the microbial life is gone, life will end right now, because a large part of our body itself is microbes. But as human beings, we think we are the most important life. But that is not how the planet thinks. If all of us disappear today, the planet will flourish. We don't have to celebrate Forest Day. Forests will be everywhere if you and me are not here. So we need to understand our place in the order of life, how it happens here, in the order of significance of life, how it happens here. So on this Forest Day, we need to understand that today our populations have grown, our need for land, our need for building various conveniences has grown. We cannot roll this back. We cannot roll back human aspiration, that is true. It is just that we must roll it forward in a more sensible way. That's all we can do. And at some point, the most unpopular thing that I've always been saying, if you want to save forests, if you want to revitalize the environment, we also have to consider how to manage our populations. It's very, very important. If we, at the beginning of 20th century, the world's population was only 1.6 billion people. Today, it is over 7.4 billion people. So nearly 5 times multiplication. But we don't have 5 new planets to live on. There's only one planet upon which all of us are living. So human population is much easier to control than human aspirations. Right now we are going on teaching people how to control human aspiration. Well, I know human beings very well. You won't succeed. Yes, it doesn't matter. You can give them teachings, you can give them philosophies, you can give them ideologies, but human aspiration cannot be controlled because that is the nature of the human being. We can make it more sensible, that's for sure. But human populations can be brought down. This is also an important responsibility of every government, both the state and central government is represented here, that we need to think about this. Maybe right now we cannot talk about it, but we need to think about it. There used to be a department and a ministry under Government of India called Family Planning that is gone and it become Family Welfare. So this is for various reasons. There are many complications in this. I can simply speak here, but for the government there are many, many complexities in talking about this. But as a social movement, as a general consciousness in the society, as we are talking about planting trees, we should also talk about making less children. This is being done, but still, population is increasing not only because there are more childbirths, it is also happening because our longevity is going up, which is most welcome and most wonderful. When we got independence in 1947, our average life expectancy of an Indian was 28 years. By those standards, almost most of us should not be here today. But today it is over 72 years. It is a phenomenal achievement for a nation which is only 74 years of age in terms of free India. In 74 years, we have brought this made this happen in spite of a variety of difficulties. So naturally, population multiplication happens. But there is one important aspect. When it comes to developing forests, it's great that we are talking about 15,000 square kilometers of enhancement of forest area, which is a fantastic achievement by any standards. But that is not the way forward because there is not enough land to do that work. There is some amount of work we can do in that area, but that will be very limited, only to arid lands and other lands which are available. But the best way to go forward, which was always our way of farming in this country was. Yeah, I was telling you this, I was in the United Nations Desert Education Program. We are partnering with them on various levels. They asked me to tell us 3 things which are most vital to save this planet. I said soil, soil and soil. There are 39 inches average soil of what we call as topsoil. 87% of the life of this planet thrives in this 39 inches of soil. This is where it is life. How much water it can store means 800% of all the water that flows in all the rivers can be stored in the soil. This is the greatest dam you have. That if soil is kept organically rich, its ability to hold water is phenomenal. That's what needs to happen. If the soil is rich, our farmers will not be struggling on a daily basis. If the soil is rich, water will be there, vegetation will be there, everything that needs to happen will happen. Our very body is soil. The very body that we carry is soil. Most people don't understand this, unfortunately, till you put them in the soil as the last thing that we do. Till then, most people don't get it. But as we stand here, this very body is soil, the quality of the soil and the quality of the life that we are very directly connected. How rivers flow, how ponds are, how groundwater is, all this depends on the quality of the soil. If we want to improve the quality of the soil, constant recycling of organic material has to happen. The simple thing is just this. If you, let us say, grow 1 ton of sugarcane or whatever other crop out of the land, what you have taken out is 1 ton of topsoil. Everything that you eat this much, you eat this big mango, this is this much of topsoil you are eating. If you eat 1 kilogram of food, it's 1 kilogram of topsoil that you are eating. So this topsoil has to go back to organic material. The only 2 ways that we can do this is by the leaves of the trees and animal waste